Chelsea have just destroyed Wolves in which a game in where the scoreline for me doesn't really reflect the entire outcome of the game. You won't see a more one-sided first half until the very end for Chelsea for me so far this season. They were really, really good. More possession, more shots on target. Palmer, doing what Palmer does, controlling the game. He is the controller in that side. And fair play. The defenders stepped up tonight, 2 goals from their back line. Madueke got on the score sheet as well. And it was a much needed win from Chelsea because before going into this game, the results for them hadn't really have gone their way. They deserved to win a lot of those games, but just lacked that killer instinct in front of goal. And tonight they showed that. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you have hit the subscribe button. The road to 50,000 subscribers is well and truly on. And I think we're just under 200 away from 41,000. 87, 88, 89%. It fluctuates on a daily. Percent of you are not subscribed. So go down and hit that subscribe button. Chelsea 3, Wolves 1. Now, before we get into the actual match reaction, I want to talk about the recent 5 games. 0-0 against Everton, 2-0 defeat against Ipswich, losing at home against Fulham, drawing away against Crystal Palace, and drawing at home against Bournemouth. And I feel like, especially before tonight, a lot of teams are now looking at the bridge and going, Chelsea have definitely taken their foot off the gas, because before that, beating Brentford, beating Southampton away, Tottenham away, beating Villa at the bridge, beating Leicester away, drawing with Arsenal at the bridge, drawing with Man United away, beating Newcastle at the bridge. Really good run of games up until that Everton game. And since then, it's been a very much downward spiral off a cliff. But today, they got back onto the straight and narrow and got a well-deserved 3 points. 2 positions I really want to talk about in this Chelsea back line, well, in the Chelsea team. One is that they need a centre-back who can command that back line. They need their own Saliba, their own Gabriel, Van Dijk, Rudiger. Of course, he was a Chelsea player once. They need someone of that ilk right now to come in. Where it's more likely going to be the summer because they're looking at, players like Garnacho and looking at forward players this window. But they definitely need someone to come in who can galvanize that back line and really, lead them forward, because they've got bundles of attacking talent, right? They've got Felix, Palmer, Jackson, Neto, Sancho, Nkunku, Felix, midfield options, Caicedo, Lavia, Fernandez, Dewsbury Hall. I think they're a little bit short maybe in the number 10, because other than Palmer, I don't really think anyone can really play it to that elite level. But they definitely need a centre-back, and they 100% need a new goalkeeper. Sanchez, for me, is not that guy. Should have been 4-5-0 tonight, and he makes an absolute howler. But the actual first goal comes from, it's a free kick deep in Wolves' half. A good ball in from Cole Palmer. And it ends up falling into Tosin Adarabioyo's path. And he makes it 1-0. A lot of people thought he was offside. I think it was actually Reece James drew a shot, which got deflected. He takes it on his knee. It's a really good first touch, and it's a good finish from the centre half. And it was basically everything Chelsea deserved. It did have a VAR check, and it did get cleared as a goal. He was being played onside by, I think, Cunha. And Chelsea were in complete cruise control. They were dominating possession. They were creating chances. You could see Cole Palmer, every time he got the ball, he was trying to find Madueke. Every single time, got the ball, twists and turns in the tight spaces, gets it out into a dangerous area. Madueke's end product for me just isn't the best, I'll be honest with you. And that might be one of the reasons why they're looking at bringing in reinforcements. Whether Garnacho is going to be that guy, I'm not so sure. But I definitely feel, for me personally, Chelsea's best front three is Jackson down the middle, Neto on the right, and Sancho on the left. When Sancho come on in that second half, you could see there's a difference. He wants to run and take players on. He's got a better left foot and right foot. He can drop the shoulder. He can, he's got the ability to just run at players for days. Madueke seems a little bit predictable. Kind of wants to cut in all the time onto that left foot. Doesn't really go around players on his right for me enough in the games I've watched this season. The actual goal It's a Wolves corner from Cunha into a dangerous area, and it's not a kind of moment that Sanchez is going to want to see back. Cunha's into in corner. He's dropped right onto Sanchez, who spills it, and then Matt Doherty, the ex-Tottenham man, delivers. And I was thinking, right, this Chelsea downfall is going to continue, and it has to be an ex-Spurs player. They go into half-time, and I'm thinking, right, I think something like Chelsea's XG was something like 0.98 and Wolves is like 0.7. But I speak about this all the time. The first 15 minutes of the second half are so important. And Chelsea score in the 59th minute. A ball in from the box. I think it was it Madueke or is it Palmer? I think it was Madueke put in a decent cross. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall gets the flick on. It falls into Marc Cucurella's path, and he just slots it into the bottom left corner. And, as he's running over to celebrate, he's doing this. And what that for me is basically directing at is the mentality in a lot of these Chelsea players. Chelsea have got a very good squad, but maybe the mentality in the last 5 or 6 games hasn't been the best. And that could be one of the reasons why they were 0-5 in terms of their record, in terms of winning games. Fair play to Enzo Maresca. He makes a big change on the hour mark. He brings on Sancho for Neto. And they go 3-1 up on the 65th minute. Trevor Chalobah. It was a ball that corner went in from Palmer. Trevor Chalobah's got a header going in over to the back post. Excuse me, hiccups. And Madueke just basically nods it in near enough on the goal line. For me, the best 2 players on the pitch, best 3 or 4 players. Trevor Chalobah was really, really good. He got man of the match. I can see why they gave it. Caicedo, for me, is so good in that midfield for Chelsea. Cole Palmer just oozes class. And I thought Reece James had a good game as well. I thought Reece James didn't really get beaten too many times down the right-hand side. I thought he had a really good game. Dewsbury-Hall was a bit of a random one. I didn't think Dewsbury-Hall would play. But, he come in and they won the game. I think Chelsea had the ball in the back of the net late on from Jackson, but it got ruled out. And I look at that Chelsea bench, and there is a lot of talent on there, but I'm just thinking, is it too much of a selection headache from Enzo Maresca? You've got Felix, Sancho, and Konku all as attacking options. You got Gusto, George, Jorgensen, Akapong, Guy, and Disasi. I don't know if Fernandez is injured, but he wasn't around tonight. Fair play to Wolves. They dug in. They've got a lot of attacking talent. Gonzalo Guedes is good. We know Cunha's quality. Ain't Nori's a good player. Sarabi is a good player. Gomez, I think he's a pretty good player as well. In terms of the match stats, Chelsea deserved to win it. They destroyed them on every single metric. Shots on target, possession, passes, passing accuracy. Corners was in Wolves' favour, but Chelsea more than deserved to win the game. And I want to look at their next game because they play Manchester City away at the Etihad on Saturday, which is a very, very, very difficult game for them. They've actually got a tough run of games coming up. They've got Brighton in the FA Cup. They actually play Brighton away twice. If you look at their next 8 games, Villa, Brighton twice, West Ham, City, and Arsenal, all in their next 8 games. If Chelsea want to get top 4, I think it's fair to say that they are no longer in a title race, and you can kind of see why Enzo Maresca didn't try to play that down. Brighton away in the cup and away in the league is not going to be easy. Chelsea have, of course, got Southampton, Leicester, which I think they'll comfortably beat, West Ham, Chelsea, and Southampton. Villa away is a really tough game. Manchester City away, they're now getting back into form. They're now scoring goals. Farmer's back at his best, it looks like. Foden. Farmer's an interesting mix of Palmer and Foden. West Ham, I think they'll beat. Potter returns to the bridge. Arsenal, Villa, and City are 3 big away games. Massive away games. But look, so far, In the last 5 games, Chelsea have look at their last 8 games. Okay, Shamrock Rovers and Morecambe, they should be comfortably beaten, but drawing to Fulham, losing to Fulham, losing to Ipswich, drawing to Bournemouth, Everton, and Palace. They need to maybe, if Garnacho is going to be that guy, they need to bring him in soon and kind of get back to some attacking, quality of finishing chances, because they have been a bit wasteful their last, you know, 3 or 4 games or so. But let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you check out all the content on the channel, and I will see you all soon. Thank you all for watching. I am out.